of St. John's Church. This is also known as the President's Church, where presidents have throughout history worshipped because they can walk across Lafayette Square. And there it is now known also as Black Lives Matter Plaza or Street, as people will know that has been emblazoned on that street there. And you can see already sort of the celebratory nature there that is just over the park from the White House, and already the celebrations beginning there in the District of Columbia, which went heavily for the Democratic candidate, Joe Biden, and now the president-elect, Joe Biden of the United States. I think we should spend just a moment talking about Joe Biden and the historic nature of his candidacy, as well as his running mate, Kamala Harris, because Joe Biden had a tough run of it against almost 24 Democratic candidates. He barely made it to the nomination. He came in fourth in Iowa, fifth in New Hampshire, and then was able to win the
South Carolina. Thank you, James Clyburn.
And was able to, with James Clyburn's machine, help win the state of South Carolina. He was almost down and out of money, too.
He was being given
anyway, but yeah, the presidency, Donald is way too dirty. That's why I was boggled. My mind was boggled. I don't even have to look at the man's taxes to understand that, Donald Trump is in bed with a lot of very seedy characters. Don't get me wrong, all politicians got their dirt and their skeletons and their closet, but Donald, baby, oh no, I mean, you are way too much of a New York crime boss to run for president. No way. But yeah, so that is my homage to Donald Trump.
What up, guys? Total Control 871. Clarity of perception. Kind of been thinking about that today. There I was, believing wholeheartedly that Donald Trump is simply too dirty, too corrupt, too a bunch of things to be president. I've been giving a lot of thought to this as to exactly what is the true nature of Donald Trump. True nature of Donald Trump. I guess it does give you a lot of pause, huh? When I was in my 30s, actually when I was 30, that's when I noticed that my vision was, it's a long story to it, but when my right eye was kind of obstructed and all I was looking through was my left, then my vision was a little blurry. I move away, the thing, and my vision cleared up. It kind of let me know that my right eye was doing double duty and so on. I'm sure probably a lot of you probably have the same issue. However, I didn't go and get it checked into till about almost 15 years later. I was like in my mid-40s. And I went to the optometrist. He did his thing, banged out the prescription. I walked out of the optometrist with my glasses in hand. I didn't put them on in the office. I get back to my camp, and I go to look at something where I could read it. I could read the print on it, and something told me I put the glasses on. High definition. Basically, I was looking at the world in high definition. The point being is that I had not realized since I had first took note of a visual anomaly when I was 30, 15 years later when I was 45. I hadn't really quite noticed as to just how much my visual acuity had deteriorated until I put on the glasses, and then I could see so much more. I'm saying all this, I suppose, in metaphor, comparative analogy, to how I have been viewing Donald Trump and his presidency, over the last 4 or 5 years. I was right there with you, with my glasses off, so to speak. I was right there with you, wholeheartedly believing that Putin had the goods on Donald Trump. Putin was going to rake Donald Trump over the coals. Putin was going to force Donald Trump to hand over all kind of national secrets. And what was it, that the fucking Russian ambassador in the White House, and oh my goodness, all this Matt Damon the Good Shepherd type shit, So but you know what? Past couple of days, something's bubbled to the forefront of my mind. You guys didn't think I was a fucking weirdo before. You definitely will now. My use of porn. Guys, what? What? Well, then again, he is talking about Donald Trump. What did Buttigieg say? The porn star presidency? Well, let me see. How can I begin to frame this? I don't like to take up too much time with backstory and analogy, and sometimes I do. But I once upon a time I had a buddy. Yes, another buddy story. I had a buddy. I wonder if I'll make a book and the title will be I Had a Buddy. Anyway, my buddy, he early 90s. Yes, young people out there, televisions were big and boxy and heavy and expensive as hell once upon a time. And a 19-inch television, a VHS combo, cost like $300 some odd, early 90s. And buddy, there's a whole long story to it, but he lived in Atlantic City and despised going offshore, hated using box stores, and he would always shop on Atlantic Avenue. The Avenue had a lot of Asian owned businesses, and that's where he liked to shop. And anyway, the point is that that's where he bought his overpriced TV. Like I said, he didn't want to go to the box stores, whatever, and bought his overpriced TV. Gets home. My buddy, he wasn't terribly popular with the ladies. He was a weirdo. He was a weirdo like me. Maybe that's why we clicked. We were two strange motherfuckers. But he wasn't terribly popular with the ladies, and dude just simply had crates and crates and milk crates of VHS porn. Interesting side note, do you know he completely missed the DVD era? Like I said, he's a weirdo. He's a weirdo. By the time he was finally willing to give up VHS and switch to a different format, DVD had come and gone, and Blu-ray was just about ubiquitous. Go figure. Anyway, back to my story. Well, I guess it was either a porn VHS tape or his favorite or whatever. Gets in the machine, caught up, jam up. He's pissed off. He told me the story of how he took it back to that Chinese shop and he raised hell. And I'm looking at him like, dude, you did that? Weren't you embarrassed? You were there with your porn and your television, and I don't know. Was this like an episode of Seinfeld? I didn't watch Seinfeld, but it seems like it would be an episode of Seinfeld. And and it was Asian porn. He liked a lot of Asian chicks and whatnot. So it's like, weren't you embarrassed? You would just simply, I don't have the time to tell you, but you would just simply have to know, my buddy. He was a character. um, you could call him shy and introvert, but once his fuse was lit, you better stand the fuck back. He attempted to join the military, and again, because I know him and I know the way he was telling the story, I could just so envision what was happening. Apparently, when you get your tray, he's in boot camp, and you get your tray, and we've seen various military movies, and a lot of it's true. You don't just simply get your food tray and go and sit down and start eating. You gotta wait, assemble table. You know the whole thing, sit, attack, pray, or whatever, however it goes. We've seen the movies. So apparently he had to go, and there was like a long table and about 4 or 5 people in command, whatever they are, and apparently he has to report or something, something. I guess his name, rank, whatever, reporting for mess hall, stuff like that. And there was I think she was a female drill instructor, and she was giving him she wasn't physically, but she was just like, right there, because he wasn't reporting correctly. And he was trying to assemble his mind, and, I guess in a very jarhead scribe type fashion, kind of like that scenario, but unfortunately, this drill instructor ended up lighting my buddy's fuse, and oh baby, she and all the other assembled people in charge, I guess drill instructors, they had no fucking idea what they had on their hands. They completely misjudged my buddy. His very short fuse was lit and burned very, very fast. All of a sudden, he takes the food tray, slams it to the ground, and it was a complete 180. He gets right in that motherfucking bitch's face, and he gives it to her, baby. Both barrels. And he told me how it was like 4 or 5 of them seated at the long table, and they all, when he exploded, they all simultaneously jumped back. They were like, they were terrified. They had absolutely no idea what the fuck just happened. That is some serious credibility. Serious credibility. You just struck absolute fear to the heart of an entire room of drill instructors. Not even just 1 or 2. They were all ready to duck for cover like some fucking PTSD bomb going off shit, and you would have thought that his explosive acting out would have gotten him kicked out, blatant, what's the word? What's the word? When you disrespect your superiors? Insubordination, there you go. His blatant act of insubordination, you would have thought would have landed him in hot water. They took him back to some sort of I don't know if you want to call it a medical facility or whatever. They put him somewhere in an office somewhere, and they were like, whoa, we had you all wrong. We had no idea you got motherfucking balls. They were ready to recycle his ass, and like, whoa, no. We thought that you was one way and you're another. No, we can use you. Anyway, there's more to the story, but I digress. You would just simply have to know, my buddy, and he wasn't about to let some embarrassment over a porn tape cheat him out of all that money that he paid. He's going to go and he's going to get it fixed. And that's exactly what happened. The Asian shop owners. The Asian shop owners, they did exactly what he asked. They took it, untangled the tape, restored his porn VHS, fixed the TV, and sent them on his way. I mean, after all, this was like early mid 90s where box stores were closing in and choking the shit out of all of those stores on the avenue. If you had a sucker on the hook and they're willing to pay your price, then yeah, I guess you will keep them happy. Um, anyway, I know you're like, how does Donald Trump fit into any of this? Well, like I say, it's you'd have to understand the nature of Donald Trump, just like you had to understand the nature of my buddy. Donald Trump is common. He's basically common trash. He's common trash that lives an extravagant life, not an opulent life. There's a difference. Donald Trump doesn't really know quality. He knows how to spend big, but he doesn't really know true quality. Despite all of his money, deep down, he's really just another commoner. I said all that to say this. Much like my buddy with his jammed up porn tape, it got my wheels to spinning. If there was some piss tape of Donald Trump with Russian hookers, would it really be enough to be leverage over him? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no. After putting on my glasses and really getting a good understanding for the guy, I don't think they ever did have any kind of real leverage. Don't get me wrong, they probably had the leverage of greed. Vlad probably made it clear to him that if you want towers and lucrative business ventures here, then, you'll play ball with me. But if you're talking about something like treason, getting into government secrets, using the office of the presidency for, I don't think so. Not that Donald was necessarily that smart, but I think the people around him, probably understood that, you can do this shit and get a black eye. And what was it? The G8 summit, whatever. Donald Trump, he knew that it was just ugly to have it hosted at his properties. And but he didn't give a shit. Just like my buddy didn't give a shit about taking in his fucking porn tape, you know. See, that's how I'm putting people's business out. Believe it or not, he helped me in that whole story that he told me. It kind of helped me come out of my shell in a lot of ways, believe it or not. Obviously, many, many, many years later, I don't know if you guys recall when I was talking about in 2007-8 when swine flu was going around, and I seemed to pick up something that was, and I had to go to that hospital in Millville, New Jersey, and whatnot. During that time, I think a few days prior to, hold on, I am having a bit of an epiphany. Once again, surfaces, because I had rented some adult entertainment from a DVD rental shop, and you'll find out in a minute why I'm putting that in air quotes. And anyway, so I, in Philadelphia, Center City, Philadelphia, and I come back to, resume my life and whatnot. And that's kind of when I kind of got sick. So, but anyway, I gotta get focused here. I'm sorry. I'm just having a little bit of a, sorry, I'm having a little bit of a flashback epiphany. Anyway, during that time, I was out of commission about a week, had to take a week off, used vacation days. Like I said, when you're poor on our level, you don't get to take vacations. Any kind of personal time or vacation time has to be saved for when illness happens. So there I was, I had to take like a week off almost, and I could not make it back in time to Philadelphia, of all places, to return my rented DVDs. Now, I knew there were going to probably be late fees, and I was ready to pay the late fees. And the thing that was peculiar is that when I rented these DVDs, adult entertainment DVDs, I get home, I open them up, and I'm looking, you know how, that blue shine for home mass-produced DVD burner. In other words, they were bootleg. So I saw they were bootleg, but, I'm like, all right, well, whatever, no big deal. And I knew then that they didn't really have the legal right to rent these movies, but, whatever. Not like I'm some fucking, fascist whistleblower or some shit. So, couldn't make it back in time. And even though they didn't technically have the right to rent these DVDs, I was ready to pay a nominal late fee. I figured I might owe something like, I don't know, $20 in late fees, because they were about a week late or whatnot. I was about 3 movies. So all of a sudden I go to check my bank account online, and I'm like, what the fuck? This rental shop hit my account for something like over $300 fucking dollars. I'm like, what the fuck, And yeah, I totally channeled my inner buddy. Okay, God bless him. He really helped me come out of my shell. And like his jammed up Asian porn tape, I too was like, hold the fuck up. This is fucking crazy. I called the shop. They were like, okay, well, what we did was you didn't return it, so we just simply charged you the purchase price. Purchase price? Okay, technically, not necessarily technically, but blatantly, you don't have the right to rent these movies, and you damn sure don't have the right to sell them, okay? What I did was then hung up the phone with them and picked up the phone with New Jersey State Police, who I guess are coordinated with Philadelphia Police or State Police or whomever. All I know is that a few days later, all that fucking money was put back into my account. Was I embarrassed? And in fact, not only they returned everything, they returned the fraudulent charges, the monies that they charged me for renting them, and there was like an initial sign-up fee or some shit like that. They returned all the fucking money to me. And I'm pretty sure the place got raided and shut down. I'm not sure. But 'cause I think when a few weeks later when I went back to Philadelphia, I don't think they were open. Point being is that I was not about to let some perceived embarrassment allow these people to rip me off for hundreds of dollars. You better kiss my motherfucking gay ass, shit. Or like I heard somebody once say it, there are 2 different types of people in this world. There are people who masturbate and people who lie. Okay? And so there are liars and there are masturbators. So there you go. Yeah, Donald Trump, his so-called Steele dossier, his porn star presidency. When you really start to think about it, suddenly it does all come into it comes into focus exactly why the Mueller report came back null and void. Like I said, Mueller made it clear himself. He wasn't there to out Donald's bad business. He wasn't there to out his own illicit behavior. He isn't there. He's not. Mueller made it clear that he's not the morality police. Okay, morality, you leave that to the voters to elect or not elect. Mueller went there for one mission and one mission only. Is national security at threat? Yes or no? For Mueller, it was total binary. Mueller probably did come away with some sleazy shit, and that's why he said, maybe Congress might want to seek impeachment, because of his amorality or, shit like that. But yeah, suddenly it does become clear. Donald Trump, he wasn't really being blackmailed. I don't think so. I can't be 100% sure, but I don't think he was. Once the Democrats understood that this is their reality, that Donald Trump isn't exactly a national threat to security, probably then that's when, the final stages, because God only knows how long this fake pandemic has been in the works. But the final stages for rolling out this farce, just absolute crazy banana shit, where I just got finished watching a segment on Rebel News in Australia, and apparently peaceful anti-lockdown protesters were pepper sprayed and arrested, but then X amount of weeks later, there was a climate protest, climate change protest, pro-environment protest. And guess what? Nobody got sprayed. Nobody got chemically doused. Nobody got arrested. Huh. Like I say, just more plot holes. You can do this, but you can't do that. I see. I see. Okay, if you say so. So, lazy black people. Did they elect Joe Biden? And before you get all bent out of shape saying, oh my God, I can't believe you just said lazy black people. What do you think that whole Hillary Clinton CPT joke was about? Okay? The Democratic Party know exactly the nature of urban black people and the problem that they have. And they address that problem with the whole mail it in thing. We'll create a fake pandemic that kind of creates a reason as to why you can't go to a polling location. Can't go because you're too lazy to go. So we have to make it that much more. And it was even more sad and pathetic. It's like I was saying in the other video. There probably are still a mountain of unfilled out ballots. Yeah, I see it. I don't feel like... Hold on. What did it say? Which one is for Trump and which one is for Biden? I don't know. Shaquita, what this thing say? I can't read this thing. I can't read this thing. No child left behind. Laws, yes. No child left behind. Okay. I guess there won't be any children left behind because, frankly, now that the fake pandemic has basically ended school as we know it, no child will be left behind because no child even has to fucking come in. Okay? Just sign into your fucking computer, prop it up against a wall or whatever. Yeah, whatever. I don't even got to come into school now. Okay. That's our reality now. All right, guys. That's it. I hope I didn't go too far off. I wasn't really off topic, but I hope I didn't just get too weird on you. But yeah, Donald Trump. I think a lot of people misjudged him. One thing's for certain. Your lockdown president that you just elected, I hope you understood what you were asking for, because you're about to get it. Never-ending lockdowns. Every time you turn around, there's going to be a brand new reason, a brand new excuse as to why we need to extend the lockdown just a little bit more. We need your patience just a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, there was it? They're already talking about how coronavirus is mutating. In other words, what they're talking about is any kind of perceived immunity from last year's survivors of the virus. They want to make it very clear that you no longer have the immunity now. They want to make sure that your vaccine, it's the flu shot. It's all it is. It's just the flu shot repackaged all over again. Okay? It is the deep state's failed flu shot, okay, that was totally exposed as being complete junk. A failed flu shot repackaged and repurposed. That is all this thing is. And the only thing that's different now is that there is a fake pandemic that's going to start forcing you. Now we have a new reason as to why the flu shot isn't voluntary anymore. You're going to have to take it. Think of other people. It's for everybody else's safety. If you don't want it for your own safety, we're going to force you to do this. And of course, during the whole lockdown, you can still go get an abortion. Now, I'm not an abortion doctor, but something tells me social distancing isn't exactly possible. Okay, so you can get all in between a woman's legs, who, frankly, if she kept her legs shut to begin with, she wouldn't be in that predicament. And the man, too, if he kept his dick in his pants. You know, it's a 50-50 thing there. And all of a sudden, that's okay. That's biologically okay and biologically safe. But you can't even go to a simple movie theater and watch a movie and eat some popcorn. If I'm not mistaken, they had guidance on movie theaters that if they were to reopen, that there would have to be centurions posted inside watching you. That when you go to eat your popcorn or your candy, you pull the mask down quickly and then pop in the treat. And then immediately put the mask back up. There is to be no taking it down and just simply eating and enjoying it. No. You have to pull it back up in between bites. You know, kind of like how if you have to get up in a restaurant to walk to the restroom, you have to have your mask on for that, because coronavirus exists when you're walking, but when you're seated, it doesn't exist. Okay. And people like me, when we point these discrepancies out, we're called, what, QAnon? Out of touch with reality? Huh. Oh, okay. I mean, because from where I'm seated, I'm the psychiatrist, and you branch COVIDians, you believers of the pandemic, you're the ones, you're the mental patient, okay? And I'm the psychiatrist that has to walk you through the inconsistencies of your story, hoping that as you articulate your own plot holes of your fantastic farce, that it will trigger some sort of sanity and will snap you back to reality that this simply cannot be. Okay? If you can hear yourself speaking the craziness of it all, then hopefully you will regain some measure of sanity. Okay. All right. That's it. That's it. So there you go. Start looking at your world through a much more clearer perception. I had to check my own perception. We just have to watch much more closer. I guess maybe that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of deception that's going on, these days. You're being told a lot of things that just simply are not true. And there's a lot of smoke and mirror and gaslighting going on. And they just simply are hoping that you will take the last 100 years of medical science and throw it out and just simply believe everything that was cooked up in the last 11 months as to what medical science has to say about virology. Yes, apparently the study of virology is 11 months old, and only 11 months old, and anything that predates that is crazy. Again, going back to another analogy, it's kind of like how scientifically minded people will scoff at religious people who believe that the world is only 7,000 years old. Well, yeah. Now we're looking at you pandemic believers, you branch Covidians. You branch Covidians who believe that virology is only 11 months old and that anything that ever predated that simply doesn't exist and that it's fantasy. Okay, that's it for now. Think wise, watch closely. Total Control 871.